Welcome to Changing Suits. We're your hosts, Val
and Taj, discussing the latest news, views, and general life for us Western Asians.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hi, welcome to Changing Suits. My name's Val.
And my name's Taj.
Today, we're going to be discussing social media and its effects on us and our kids and the community. Now, we need to remember Taj hasn't been feeling 100% this week, so she might be a bit more than she usually is. But we'll get through it because we still need to put a podcast out this week.
True say.
Okay, right. So with social media, we know it's taken over everybody's lives. The procrastination that we used to have before of watching TV all day and now is social media, and you don't even realize how much time you're spending on it, right? But is it a positive that we've got social media? I was going to say you could talk soon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my turn. Social media, there are positives and there are negatives. Now, for me, I'm going to say I spend a lot of time on social media, and I think I've realized more so while I've been off work and just been laying about being sick, because I get up in the morning and the first thing I do is go on social media, put my posts out, and then I'm constantly checking how many likes and comments that I'm getting, and then throughout the day I keep checking and checking and checking. And then I'm one of those crazy people. See, but I've been told I'm a bit backwards because I'm using Facebook, and that's not the in thing. It's more for my age group, Facebook. So I need to get with it.
With it. Well, see, this is the thing. I mean, out of all the social medias, I use Facebook as well. And yeah, I need to get with it. I've been trying for years. I've put myself on Instagram, and apparently the next thing is moving on anyway. So is it worth going on Instagram? But I've been trying, and I'm just not getting a hang of it. It's just so long.
But then, do you think there's a type of person then for social media?
No, I think the thing is, they're very clever, the companies that have bought these out. So obviously, everything on your social media is going to be something that you're interested in. So it keeps you on there longer. Right? It's the same thing as advertising. As soon as you mention something, it's going to come up on your Facebook or Instagram, which is always so freaky. Do you not just, and I'm going to move on so quickly on this one, but do you not think it's so freaky how you might mention something and then you start getting the adverts and you haven't even Googled it?
Yeah, that is crazy. It just shows what the devices are listening. Big Brother.
Right? And then they make out as if you're just being paranoid. But it happens.
You're not being paranoid. It happens so many times. But yeah, I continue to use it. I had the devices all around the house.
And but this is the thing. You guys are crazy. You've got like devices in every room. We're a bit crazy like that. I'm a bit security conscious, obviously. I don't know why. But yeah.
Maybe you got something to hide.
No, not really. It's just I get really paranoid. I mean, you're sitting there. You don't want to feel like you're being spied on, like the Big Brother, I guess.
But it's pretty much coming to that. But the funny thing is, this is just kind of getting off topic of social media. There was a post that I read, and it was about basically you've got CCTV cameras everywhere, but when some sort of crime happens, they can't find it. So if some sort of crime's going to be committed, do it in the bus lane or something, and they'll be sure to have picked up.
Oh, yeah, so true. That is a good point.
Not that I'm encouraging anyone to do any sort of crime.
Wait. Do you mind you're not supposed to do it in the bus lane because there's cameras on the bus lane?
No, but they're saying if someone commits a crime to you, make sure they try to do to you in the bus lane.
Yeah, got you. That makes sense.
Not that I'm encouraging any crimes or anything. I just want to highlight that.
But just don't do it in the bus lane is the point that Taj is trying to make.
Get them to do it in the bus lane.
Yeah, get them to do it. But if you're the criminal, you don't. Oh yeah. In the bus lane.
If you're doing it the other way around, yeah.
But it is funny. It's true because, like, no matter how many cameras, they never find the suspect. Right? It's true. It's crazy.
But anyway, reeling it back into social media. So there's so many.
Wait, can I just say on that point? So we went a few weeks ago to. We did a trip to the Lake District, then went to Scotland, came back in Yorkshire. And as we were in Yorkshire, it's a really nice place. It's all green and So we're driving down, and literally there's nothing. To the point we're having that conversation of how comes they're trying to put all this housing in London when you've got this much land? But yeah, so we were sitting in our car. We were like, would we move here? And I don't think we could, because firstly, there was no internet. Like, I don't understand how you live without without the internet. I
But the
don't get it.
thing is, you know, once you start desensitizing yourself to stuff, you can live in that way. For example, now I've started slowly getting off social media. Now I'm going back to it. I don't feel the same about it. It's that relationship isn't there.
What do you mean?
I'm not in love with it as much as I was.
But were
I'm
you
feeling
ever
a
in
bit of
love
a
with it?
chore. Yeah, I think I was addicted. I don't know if I would call it love or addiction.
It would definitely be addiction. I mean, the reason we go on it. I mean, as we're talking, I've just gone onto Facebook as we're talking. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on there? It is addiction. They know what gets you, what keeps you on there. So it is addiction, I think.
But then you can transfer that addiction to anything. Like, for example, this podcast, one of the things that we do is see how many downloads that we get.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
that's an addiction as well. So you're kind of transferring that addiction from one thing to another. So maybe if you put something in the place of social media, so you're addicted to it. For example, the love of books.
Yeah, I was
If
just
someone
thinking that.
has a target of reading, you've got that addiction and you're trying to hit a target.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
So it
completely agree
can
with
be
that.
done. It's about if you want to do it, if you want to move away from social media, if you want to get away from that drug.
But it is really hard to do. So you know how you were like I've started. I did this a while ago, and you'll probably laugh at me as well because you guys were laughing at me. Where I had a calendar for everything we were doing in the day, where
Yeah,
literally it
that
couldn't
was
go.
crazy.
Yeah, it was. So I'm like, oh, sorry, I can't talk now. I've got to be doing this, right? And one of the things I put in there was read a book. So I used to love reading, right? And
Mm.
then so I'm always trying to get back into the reading, I've got I want to do it. However, by the evening, once the kids are asleep, I sit on the sofa, and as soon as that TV goes on, and it's the same thing, TV and the social media are the same thing, right? um you get lost in it. It's like, and then you wake up, well, you I always wake up because I fall asleep on the sofa watching TV. I wake up at 11 o'clock, you're like, oh crap, that's not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to read a book now, go to sleep. And that's literally how every day is.
So it's not even a generational thing, the social media, where you could say only one particular generation is addicted. Because our dad, he'll be sitting on YouTube. You'll go around, I haven't visited him for months. I'll go around there and he's addicted to social media,
Yeah.
as in YouTube, watching all his videos and everything on there. I'm trying to have a conversation with him. He's like, yeah. And his head is like in the phone watching his YouTube thing. So it's happening all over to everyone. It doesn't matter gender, whatever age group.
But then the reason people do it is escapism, though, isn't it?
I was
That's
just about to say that.
I
Is it
mean,
because life's getting too much and that's the only way to escape?
well,
Or
yeah,
are we escaping?
well, no, I don't think we're escaping. And but I think, but then this is the thing. This is why we watch TV, we read books and social media, because we are trying to escape from our lives, and that's what it's turning into. And isn't that just a sad thing, though?
What,
Like,
that we're trying to escape from life? But then you get loads of good messages on there. For example, there's so much stuff about mental health and
yeah, but the problem is a lot of the mental health problems that are being caused are caused by the same thing that's giving you this, social media. So
But that's with anything in life. I was just thinking, for example, I remember speaking to in a particular role, I was going to do a project with a police officer, and he's pretty high up in the ranks. And one thing he said to me, which resonates with quite a lot of things, he said, "Okay, crime's bad, but if we didn't have crime, then I wouldn't have a job."
mm,
And the same thing, rubbish is bad, but if we didn't have rubbish, then the people that pick up the rubbish, you wouldn't have the jobs. So you need to have the good with the bad with anything in life.
but then do you not? And this is where the whole, where is life going? Like, people are living. We've had times. I remember we were on holiday and someone was taking a selfie because it was a nice scene, and they took a selfie of themselves smiling. It was a great scene, and as soon as the phone goes down, she sent down the photo. She's back to her miserable self. And it's like, so what is the reality? Because people think what's going on social media is reality, but it's not, is it? but it's a new reality for
Well,
people.
it's funny because I put up a picture just this week, and it was of me and my husband, and it was of us about 12 years ago,
Yeah, we were
and there
having
was
a
some
laugh
people,
at it a little while ago.
yeah, there was some people that actually thought it was us now. And I was going to correct the person. I thought, no, why should I? Let me pretend I still look this young and happy and stuff.
Oh, yeah, but
Why not?
yeah. I mean, social media is funny because now you're getting all those clips of how people are showing reality. You don't get many of them, but you do get those that are showing what reality is like. There was one that I saw, and it was a model. I think I've mentioned this on another podcast, but it was that good that I'm mentioning it again. Do you remember this? I was telling you. Yeah, so she's a model. She's like got a nice little coat, like it's proper sexy little thing going on there. And then it's funny. She opens up the coat and she's got a big, like she's taken her stomach out and she's showing her fat, and it's just so funny. And she's enjoying it, and it is funny.
But I think there's a whole funny thing, and you like to see those little nice pictures of couples together and la di da. Yeah, escapism.
But do you not find, and I don't know if it's me because I'm not on social media. I like scrolling through. I'm a bit nosy like that. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not. And I've started to. I have increased the number of comments I'm starting to put on. A few likes. All this sort of stuff because someone's put it out. So you should be liking it. They've gone to the trouble
Should
of it.
you?
No.
Should you?
What do you mean? What, you don't think we should be
Why
liking
do you
it?
think you should be liking it? To make them happy?
Well, they put it out there, especially, okay, for example, for a business, like we're trying to increase the number of members that we have, and we've got the FYI to help women start their returning to work. But that's the help that we're providing is only going to happen if we're getting more members on these social media groups so that we can advertise to them. So yeah, I think it is, especially for businesses. We should be supporting business, especially small businesses, because in retrospect, it's going to be helping you as well, like the consumer. Same thing as the advertisement. Yeah, we get adverts that we've just spoken about. Yeah, it's come up on our stuff, but it's helping us, so we don't have to search for stuff. You just click on. That's the whole point of it, right? Making your life easier. Your question was, should we be liking posts? Why did you say it like that?
Because why not just, you've seen it, why does it make a big impact of liking it? Is it because we're making the other person happy?
What's wrong with that?
Let's talk about person. Yeah.
I mean, you
No,
said
there's nothing
yourself
wrong.
you're a bit addicted. You're waiting for those likes and those comments. So what if
Yeah.
it's a good thing if you're making someone happy? I know that sounds like a really dumb thing to say, but if it's made it made a difference in your day, is that not a good thing?
But isn't it a bit sad that we've come, and I've done it as well, that we've come to a point of our lives where our happiness is from how many likes we get?
Mm.
Social media, we see so many world events that are happening as well, and these days you can't always trust the newspapers and stuff, and now you got people that are making videos, putting them up, and you're seeing reality of what's happening in the world.
But it's not reality. Some things are not reality on social media as well. You still have to sift through the crap. The same
But
with
that's
the
through
newspapers.
anything. That's with newspapers as well. You have to sift through the crap of the newspapers as well. Will we ever know what the truth is, or is it what we want the truth to be?
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. Everyone's got a perspective, haven't they? I was reading something this morning, something political. I won't go into it. And an actress had put something out that was, in my view, promoting violence. And then I was reading a few of the comments, and they're like, "No, that's not promoting violence. It's whatever their perspective was." And I'm like, "Well, okay, like it's whatever you want to believe, isn't it? Really."
But we say that social media, we're in the free world. We're not quite in the free world, are we? Because we are still being. We can, like, social media can be stopped in certain countries
Yeah,
if the
of course. Yeah.
governments don't want certain things to leak out from the countries, and we see that happening all over the world. And it is sad that we think, okay, in a time where events have happened and there've been media blackouts, oh no, with maybe social media, when these things get seen by people, maybe there will be a different cause and effect, that maybe there will be more support. But that hasn't happened really, because government controls everything at the end of the day.
But awareness has increased. We know, sitting here, what's going on the other side of the world, which we wouldn't have In other words, I mean, you look at, I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, no, I don't like watching the BBC because it's not a true, this was when the HGV driver stuff was happening, and they, it wasn't really outwardly being admitted that it's down to Brexit. This isn't trying to be political, even though whether you're for or against Brexit, that is essentially why we had a shortage. But if you turned on a different news channel, for example, I think someone said Al Jazeera, that person was saying, they then had a bit more of an open view of why it was happening. And then you go to Europe. I was listening to LBC, and there was a Polish driver, and he was like, yeah, the way they were treated when they, a lot of them had to go home, last Christmas, was inhumane. And that was being shown on Polish TV. And he was basically saying, why should we then come back to a country that treated us like this? But we didn't see that.
We didn't see that, to be honest. No, we didn't. Because we've just shown that, oh, no, it's got nothing to do with Brexit.
But then that's the point, isn't it? Like it depends on
propaganda,
which part of the propaganda you want to go to. And the same with social media. We know that it's controlled politically. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg wouldn't be friends with some of the nations that he is if it was down to freedom of speech, would it?
Yeah, of course not. Power means everything.
Yeah. So,
I mean, just generally on personal levels, the negativity that come from social media is always highlighted. There are quite a lot of positive things, and we will go back to them. But the negative things about trolling, people that are trying to build awareness about things that are happening in communities, for example, are getting trolled because they're like, why are you highlighting this? You're exposing our community to look bad. And then they're getting trolled.
What do they call them? Keyboard warriors. We don't have the balls to go say it to someone's face, but we're happy enough to do it because.
But it does affect the other person reading the messages. I mean, there's people that committed suicide because of trolling. It's got to that extreme.
But I don't understand. Sorry, go on. You were going to
go on. I want you to say it because I've already got the answer to what you're going to ask.
Okay, I don't understand why, regardless of whether it's on a face-to-face or on social media, why you'd be so horrible to someone.
I think when you try to understand sometimes someone's mentality, you're never going to know the truth and you'll drive yourself crazy trying to work it out. That's like some of the people that have been put in prison for murdering and whatever. If you're trying to understand them, will you actually ever know the truth behind why they done it, or you're just going to drive yourself crazy? Is it just because they're pure evil?
No, but I get it. But
is there such thing?
Yeah, but it would be interesting to find out. I think there's what was it last year? There was someone that was you always get it, even celebrities on celebrities, and it's like, why are you being so horrible? Like, seriously, this is on social media. This will come back. To the point, I was watching Dragon's Den and they had this thing where a business was trying to clean up your social media because, it was a good one. And it was like, that is very forward thinking. So they did get investment. But basically, for job interviews and things like that, an employer is now looking at your social media. What are you putting out there? Who are your friends? I was talking to a friend of mine, actually, who's a recruiter. I mean, in fact, we did a workshop with him on CV building with FYI. And one thing he mentioned was a lot of employers will look at who your membership list is. If you've got a certain, if you've got a racist cult faction on your social media, does that mean you're then that as well?
Oh, wow.
So it all matters because it will affect your future job prospects. So anyway, this Dragon's Den thing was there to clean up your social media. So if that did happen, anyway, I thought it was an interesting concept.
See, what I thought you were going to throw into
I was just about to say, did you think I was?
I thought you were going to say, well, if someone's trolling you, why do you keep reading the messages?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I wasn't going to say that because this is the same reason that you're looking for people's liking your post.
Yeah, because what's being said, it's like if a letter's been put through the post and you're like to a child, don't open it, or a present or something, you're like, don't open it, don't open it. There's going to be that thing where you just think, I want to open it, I don't care, I want to open it, I want to open it.
No, but do you know what? You say that. So when I was a counsellor, I did start going on social media, and there was a specific resident who everyone hated, don't worry. I read one comment that he put out, and it was about me. And I was like, okay, so I can I didn't really comment on, and that was a mistake from me. I don't really comment on social media. I never used to. Now I do a bit more. Usually, if I'm there just have a laugh with someone, I don't do it negatively. There we are. But basically, I decided not to read my social media posts after, and I was fine. I never knew what people were saying about me then. So I don't completely agree with that. If you don't want to hear it, just don't read it.
Yeah, but I think you have to be a type of person to completely ignore something like that and not want to read it.
Because it
I
is
think there's a
upsetting.
curiosity. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is upsetting. And yeah,
So the easiest thing is not reading it. You don't know it's out there, and it'll be stopped. And it's the same sort of thing. I mean, regardless of, I know I think I've mentioned this on another podcast. Same thing with Meghan Markle and all the whole social media and newspaper. The amount of flack she was getting. People like negativity, right? Sorry, the social media people like negativity because it draws people in, and so that's the sort of stuff that you're going to be reading, negative stuff. So
it's because there is that thing that you don't like to see someone else always do well. And yeah, bad news is good news. Yeah, it sells. Yeah, bad news sells.
Someone benefits from it, just not us.
Exactly.
But do you not think that the internet, social media, it's moving so quickly? If you remember back when we were growing up, and don't say a long time ago because it always ends up being a long time ago. You used to have dialing in your internet. Like
modems,
all that sort of stuff. I like, come on,
and you couldn't use the phone line at the same time.
Oh yeah, was it something like that?
Yep, you couldn't use it at the same time. You could only use your internet or you could use your phone.
If you want to relive that, watch the film You've Got Mail, which I always watch every so often, especially at Christmas. So here we are. I'm going to be watching that soon. But yeah, that because then they've got that dial-up connection. We're like, oh, come on, connect. But anyway, what I was going to say was, it was the same then. Our parents, especially from the Asian community, they were always busy working, right? So they didn't have time to learn what social media and all this sort of stuff was. And I feel like
that's because it wasn't around.
Well, no, it was. You had MSN Messenger or something like that.
Oh yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
That.
Is that still around?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, one of the listeners can let us know if it's around. That'd be good to know. But what I was going to say was, being from the Asian community, I found that our parents were less ready to learn about internet and knew less of what was going on. And I feel like I'm falling into the same trap. I don't know the latest trend of social media.
But I think that's to do with what you prefer, because if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into wanting to be on social media. But one thing I do think is really good is that you can see a lot of our Asian influencers in social media.
Yeah.
So you can relate to them. You can find them anywhere, any sorts of social media, and they're getting out there and they're telling their story.
Just to let you know, next week we are going to be having a lovely lady who is on social media, is an influencer. On Instagram, her handle is datmum, and she'll be talking about the positive stuff and the negative stuff of social media. So tune in next week because we're looking forward to talking to her about that. When our parents did come to this country, I remember someone was saying, I think it was a TV program that was talking about, there was one channel that started which had Asian people in it, and everyone would watch it. It would be really late at night, but because it was Asians on TV, they'd watch it. And if you remember, do you remember the whole thing with Goodness Gracious Me? As soon as that came in, there was there was happiness in our community, because this was one of the first things that, it poked fun at the Asian community, but we related to it.
But that's it. When you can relate to something, it's like, I remember when we used to be at secondary school and then we went into sixth form, and you'd think, okay, you'd build new relationships, but everyone kind of went off into what they could relate to. All the Caucasian people went into Caucasian group, all the black people went into the black group, all the Asian people went into the Asian group, and you'd had the few wanderers in between. And that is
the hippies that would go to the BAME communities.
Yes, I understand you. Basically, because you could relate to what was happening in your personal lives and stuff like that. And that's why people get drawn to certain people, because you can relate.
And then that's where the positivity of social media is there for the Asian community and any community that perhaps didn't get that
I mean,
before.
you can see a lot of Gidda videos on. Sorry, I have been watching a few, and some old school ones. And
You've been watching Gidda videos.
I don't know why they've just been popping up on.
That's the sort of thing
Instagram.
Mum should be watching. Why are you watching them?
I don't know. Just to, when you feel like you want to be happy.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Hey, I used to watch it when we used to watch it with Granddad on the VCR, I think.
Yeah,
Do you know what? I'll tell you something funny, actually. So last week we did
VHS.
VHS? Yeah.
VCR.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think you're right. It is VHS. So, yeah, so we went back to East London to go and see our parents last week. You should have come. No, I'm joking. And and basically, one of the drawers that we've got, it's got photos in there, but there was, I think it was a wedding film, which was on VHS. You know, good videos that we used to have. Anyway, the kids were playing around with it. I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. Right? I don't know whose video it was. It's fine. The reel was still in there last time I checked. Whoa. Anyway, so the kids actually said, it's a VHS. I'm like,
how do they know?
If that's what it's called. They called it the right thing. I'll ask them when they get home what it's called. But I was like, what?
How did they know?
Because it's written on the video.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. I mean, kids nowadays don't know what that is. I mean, even to the point, don't you find it funny when you have a TV program and an advert comes on and then, oh my God, hurry up, turn the advert on.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway.
What was your point?
I can't remember. What was my point? I don't remember.
I've seen the video, the VHS.
I don't remember what my point is. I just wanted to tell you my story, whether it's related or not.
As long as you could get it in there.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so yes, social media has a lot of negatives, but it does bring communities together. That is the point I was trying to make somehow.
Well, it was really funny. So I was promoting some of our FYI workshops, and there's a group of my friends that aren't on social media. So I posted it out on our WhatsApp group, and quite a few of them were like, we're not on social media. And I was like, oh my God, what? What's going on? How can you not be on social media?
And what was their reply? Did you ask them?
No, I didn't. I thought all that in my head, by the way.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law, he's not on social media. And I did actually ask him, I go, how can you not be on social media? Because I don't feel that I need to be.
What does that mean?
He just doesn't see what he gains from it. And I was like, okay, fair dues. People do live without social media. And there are quite a lot of people out there that don't actually use social media.
Yeah, people that live under rocks. No, joking.
No, but it can be done. And to my amazement, you still carry on living life.
Yeah, but that's because you don't know what's going on there. Like, you do learn a lot from the internet and social media, but if you
I don't think it's stunted life in any way.
Yeah. What is the point of social media, though? What is the point?
To connect people, for allow us to see that there's people happier than us.
And that's what we want to see. But the thing is, it is funny, when they say, to connect people, it's funny because you could be sitting in the same room and everyone's on their phone. The people you should be connecting with are the people that you're sitting with in a room, but you decide not to do that. You want to connect with other people, but you'll connect with them if you're not in the same room.
Because the grass is always greener, isn't it? You never appreciate what's in front of you.
I don't know. You need to convince me, because like I said, I'm only on Facebook and I need to update that. Convince me. Why should I get on social media? Because I'm one of the people that live under a rock.
Because it's fun. You can learn a lot of things. You can find out about what's happening in the world. You can show the world what's happening in your life.
I watch the news and I tell you what's going on.
News is boring. You do it in a fun way.
Okay.
From people's perspectives rather than a journalist doing it. You can become famous on social media.
Good point.
You could build a whole career on social media. You don't have to do it through the normal avenues that it used to be done by.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Fair enough.
And what else could you ask for? You could become I don't know, a Bhangra singer on social media.
Bring in the Asian perspective somewhere.
That's right. You know, the world can see you for what you are.
I don't think I want the world to see me for what I am. Maybe I should stay off then. All right, let's change it slightly. Kids, do you want your kids on social media?
Well, my daughter wants to keep doing these YouTube videos.
Have you
Now,
ever started them? Because you've been saying that for years.
no, I haven't, because my husband doesn't want us to do it, so I had to back off. I mean, but there are people that are building up their lives.
Yeah, Ryan's World. I watched one of it. Oh my god, I do not know how that's so famous. Like,
Well, the kids love it.
but I don't get it. But then it's the same as I don't get why they watch. You know, when they're unpacking toys, and it's like, Mom, why don't you play with 100 toys that you've got there?
Because maybe it's just, and they watch videos of people playing games, and it's like, you can play that game by yourself. But I understand, because once you start watching, you accidentally fall into the trap as well and start watching it as well. It's
What,
like you
Ryan's
become
World?
anything.
Oh, have you seen Ryan's World?
Yeah,
And
boring.
but I don't get it. I mean,
I look at how big their house and everything is.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, good on him. I mean, credit to him. He smashed it. He's doing better than I am.
Exactly.
So who cares? But yeah,
But
going back to kids.
yeah, so she wants to build up this YouTube channel for herself. We've not got round to doing it, but then there's a whole thing about kids being on social media, and I know we don't want to say it, but pedophiles, and the importance of keeping kids safe. And
yeah, but that's as long as a parent you know what's going on, right? Because I mean, at some point, kids will get onto social media. They will want to be on social media. I mean, ours are quite young at the moment, but as they get older, they're going to be doing that fake smile and then turning off their phone and being as miserable as they usually are. That's part of growing up, right?
Yeah, but is it up to us as parents to keep them off social media as long as we can, or should we?
Well, I think it's a hard one, because this world is technology, and you're stopping their progress. Then, I mean, lockdown, for example. My son knows how to use a laptop now because of lockdown. Otherwise, he wouldn't know.
Yeah, my daughter helps me out how to use Teams and the other platforms that I use.
So
Sad, but
if we don't allow it, we're sort of stunting their growth as well. So
that is true. I mean, we can't compare it to how we were grown up, because things have changed so much, and you have to move forward with the times.
well, the other thing is, on the negative, although I'm saying, yeah, it's forward thinking, like you should be allowing it. The other thing is, have you not found that when kids do watch a lot of TV or are on social media or on your phone, they turn crazy when you turn it off or tell them to turn it off. Whereas if you've told them to do some homework, they'll be a lot calmer after you've finished. It's really weird. Do you not find that?
That is true. There is some sort of mental health, I think, attached to it. And I think as time goes on, we are going to see more and more cases of children having mental health issues because of the social media that's used, and just generally, yeah.
Someone I know, he was a dentist, so I was working with him, and we just came up to this conversation of he was interviewing people for something. This was a while ago, and he goes, "It's crazy how the people that are coming now to do their interviews have a lack of attention. They
Yeah, I
can't
can understand
they
that.
can't keep focused for more than a certain amount of time, and their writing skills and things like that have really been affected. And these are other professionals and healthcare workers, but that's the generation that we're coming to.
Well, if you think about it, most things now, or in the younger years, they do teach how to write and the cursive writing and everything. But mostly everything from when we work, and we're using the laptops to do our writing. When I'm doing writing, my writing's turned really rubbish now, because we just don't use our motor skills like we used to.
Yeah.
Everything is technology and socializing, and the world is such at a fast pace. No wonder we're short, attention span, because we expect to do this. Everything has to be done fast.
But then do you think it's turning to... There's a film, actually, where humans have become irrelevant, and then it's all about technology, and that is basically what's happening. But our brains are getting worse because with the job that I had, for example, in sales, I used to use the sat nav a lot. I could go to the same place 100 times, and there were places where I had been 100 times, but I still needed my sat nav to tell me where to go.
It's because we've become so reliant on our technology.
But you know how bad my memory is now, because I don't need to use it.
I think even the listeners know how bad your memory is.
Yeah, but it is down to technology as well, though, isn't it? We don't need to use our brains. We use technology. And it's turning into a world where that is our reality now.
It's a muscle that we don't flex like we need to.
If you don't lose it, if you don't use it,
you lose it.
Yeah. So, yes, I don't know, it's a bit of a scary thing. Terminator, as it were.
But saying all that, we've pointed out quite a few positive things and negative things. But I can say I've made quite a lot of friends through social media and actually met them up in person.
In person? You meet people in person?
Yeah. And this is through the workshops that we've been doing. And I've been meeting up with them in public spaces, and they're not dodgy people. So safe people.
I was going to say, why are you saying I met them in public places?
I just want to highlight that, you know, safety is of the most importance.
Yes.
And you can make friends, you know, with people on social media. It's just another way of building relationships. So
on that point, let's wrap it up. I have learnt I should be on social media so I can make friends. And I will be, because we are promoting not only the podcast but also FYI, which is a very important course. And although the negativity is there in regards to social media, which I feel like the most of this podcast has been negative, but I'm going to turn it around and say you should get on social media anyway.
Are you being paid by someone that owns some sort of social media?
No, but it would be really nice if
someone
they
did.
did.
Some pennies.
I really don't mind. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up and say, yes, there are the negativities, but hey, move on with the world. We have to get onto social media. That's it. I've got nothing else to add to that one. So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.